I was saying after social conversation, after this, I will tell you. I noticed it, but conversation covered it. I'm like, okay, so, and when I noticed it, it actually brought out your face. Your face is now finer, brighter, and all that. I said to myself, oh yeah, my brother, you're not supposed to say it to yourself. You're supposed to say it to me. I don't understand. How can you not notice that I made a new hair? Like, hey, God, I don't understand. Hi, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It depends on where you are at this time of the day. I greet you according to your time and location. You're welcome back to my channel. My name is Nancy. On this channel, I film about faith, I film about relationship, and I film about lifestyle, and of course, every other good stuff that comes my way. I film from Abuja, Nigeria. All right. If you're new here, hey, hi. What have you been waiting for? Anyways, now that you're here, we welcome you into the family. You're highly welcome. Your presence means a lot to us. Thank you so much for coming around. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always sticking around with me. Thank you for always standing by me. Thank you for coming back to watch my videos. Thank you for the encouragement thus far. Thank you for growing with me. You can see that we are growing. So if you've not subscribed to this channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. We are growing. By the grace of God, we are growing, and all glory belongs to God. All right, so if you're new here, please endeavor to subscribe before you leave this channel. I know you will allow God to use you to subscribe to this channel before leaving. All right, so I don't want to waste much of our time. Like I always tell you guys, I'm not going to waste much of your time today. Today's video is going to be very short. All right, I'm going straight to the point, direct. All right, so if you watched my previous video, you realize that I started a series which is the love language. All right, so I did an introduction about the love language, introduction on the love language, and then of course I talked about one of the love languages, receiving gifts. If you've not watched my video, please, the last video I posted, endeavor to watch it so that all of us will be on the same page. All right, I talked about receiving gift as one of the love languages, and then I emphasized that receiving gift is very, very important. It's an important love language that you ought to speak with your spouse, especially if their primary love language is receiving gifts. Of course, nobody is allergic to receiving gifts. Nobody, I don't know if you've given anybody gifts genuinely and they will tell you, no, I don't like receiving gifts. No, nobody, no matter how small it is, gift is gift. So nobody's allergic to receiving gifts. And of course, love itself, love is giving. You cannot tell me that you love me and you're not giving me anything. Oh, you have to give me something. No matter how small it is. It's not like we're being demanding, but I think love itself is giving. Like there's this popular version of the scripture we always quote. For God so loved the world that he gave. So love is giving. If you love me, you will give me. If I love you, I will give you gift. Receiving gift, all right? It's very, very important. It's a vital tool in a relationship, in marriage, and all of that. Let's not waste much time on what we've treated in retrospect. All right, so today I'll be talking about another love language. I'm sure you already know what the topic is. Words of affirmation. Words of affirmation. All right, guys, so without further ado, we're jumping right into the video. Okay, so words of affirmation. What are words of affirmation and how can you use it? How can you speak it to your spouse? How can you express the words of affirmation with your spouse or to your spouse? First off, what are words of affirmation? They are words that communicate your love. They are words that communicate your love, your appreciation, and respect for another person. It communicates your love, the way you feel about the person. Your appreciation, still the same way you feel about the person, and your respect for another person. They are positive words used to uplift someone's spirit. Okay, positive words. Words of affirmation are not negative words too. You don't come and start telling somebody your mates are doing this, your mates are doing this. All of those things are not words of affirmation. Words of affirmation are usually positive words that you tell another person that makes them, feel good. It makes their spirits lifted, kind of, if that makes sense. All right, there are compliments and words, of course. Compliments, you compliment somebody. You know what compliments are? Those are words of affirmation. Compliments is an affirmation. I hope you know that. And these words of affirmation, this is the only love language that revolves around verbal expression. So, and as such, it ought to be spoken very well, verbally, vocally, audibly. I don't know how else to express it, but I think it should be spoken very well, verbally, vocally, audibly. Let it be loud. I'm not saying you should be saying it so that the whole world will be able. Tell it to the person you're expressing it to, right? Now, people whose primary love languages are words of affirmation. This set of human beings, they are very, very sensitive. Very, very sensitive, hypersensitive, all right? They pay attention to details. People whose love languages, words of affirmation, their primary love language is words of affirmation. They pay attention to little details. Sometimes those things you yourself think it doesn't matter. Let me not even bother myself about this thing. Let me not even bother telling this person this. Those are the things that really matters more to them. They find it interesting. They find it very helpful. They are very, very sensitive. They know exactly what to tell a person to make a person feel good, to make a person feel better. All right? Sorry, I'm checking my camera. All right? They know exactly what to tell you to make you feel good, feel better, lift your spirit and all of that. They know exactly and when to say that. And then, of course, they too, they want to receive that same thing in return. They want to hear you say those things to them. They want to, feel it. If your partner's love language, for example, you have a partner whose primary love language is words of affirmation, you have to pay attention to little details. Small thing like this, you have to pay attention to it. And then you have to express it to them. Because these people, they tell you these things, and they too, they want to hear you say it to them. It makes them feel good. If your partner's love language is words of affirmation, and you're going about doing the other ones, spending quality time, yeah, of course, that's good too. Buying gifts, act of service, doing all of those things, and their primary love language is words of affirmation. Trust me, all of those things they are saying might not really mean a lot to them. But you see, you saying all those small things to them, I'll get to that. It will lift their spirit. It will make them feel good. All right. Now, some persons will say, or some young men or some young women, in fact, both genders, you hear the lady say things like, if you start telling a man how important he is to you, how much you love him, how much you respect him, how this, how that, he starts misbehaving, he starts feeling too important, his shoulders will start rising and all that. Then hear the men say things like, once you start telling a lady how important she is to you, how good she is, how much you love her, how precious she is to you, her head will start expanding. She will start misbehaving. My people will say they'll start putting leg inside soup. It's a parable actually. They start misbehaving and all of that. They have this belief. Well, I think I'm of a different opinion. I do not believe in that school of thought at all. I believe in the school of thought that says that if you love a person, be ready to express it. You cannot love me and not tell me how much you love me. I don't understand you. You love me and you're keeping it to yourself. She already knows how much I feel. She already knows how I feel about her. Hello? It's only you that knows how you feel about me. I don't know. You have to keep telling me. There's this popular saying that says, if you want people to remain the way they are, the positive way, if you want them to remain the way they are, keep telling them who they are, keep reminding them who they are, keep singing it to their hearings. The moment you start doing that, that particular way, that way you want them to be, they keep living in that manner. But if you just say, they will feel it's not important to you. So because you feel, I already know how much you feel, because you told me how you felt about me or how you feel about me 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, you are not expecting me to still have it in my mind that, you already told me that he loves me, so I don't need to. My brother, you have to say it to me. You have to remind me. You have to keep saying it. Don't get tired. Don't be stingy with words. Don't be stingy with... There's this thing in agriculture, we call it ad libitum. Feed them ad libitum, like feeding animals without restrictions. Say it ad libitum. Say it. You keep saying it. You wake up in the morning, say it. In the afternoon, you say, you call me on the phone, you say, tell me how you feel about me. Don't assume I should know how you feel about me. It's only you that knows how you feel about me. And she already knows how I feel about her now, so... There's no need telling her how I feel about it. Is important. And then there are some persons when you're telling them how important they are to you, how you feel about them. So if you see me checking like this, I'm actually checking the timing because I don't want this thing to be too long. I want it to be very short, right? There is another set of persons when you're telling them how much they are, how much you know value them, how important they are to you, and all of those sweet words. You hear them say things like, oh, don't worry, stop, don't mention. My brother, is a lie. Mention it. See, mention it. Don't listen to them. That is not them speaking. That is another spirit speaking from their inside. You did something for somebody and the person is telling you thank you, appreciating you. Well, for me, if I do something for you and you tell me thank you, you acknowledge it, that's enough for me. If you are doing now, hammering on it and all of that, well, I really don't, it's not really matters like that. But you have to acknowledge it. Now, there are some persons when you're appreciating them, when you're telling them how much important they are to you, how much you love them, or how supportive they've been, how impactful they've been to you and all of that. You hear them say things like, oh no, don't worry, don't bother, don't say that, if it's okay, don't mention. Oh mention. Did you hear me? I say mention it. They like it. It's not them speaking. Everybody likes it, actually. Everybody likes words of affirmation. Men especially, they like words of affirmation. Yes, I'm talking about the male gender, the other gender. They like words of affirmation. Everybody does, actually. We all do. If your partner's love language is words of affirmation, bottom line, you have to learn how to pay attention to those little things. Appreciate them. When you see them in new hair, appreciate them. When you see them in new dresses, appreciate them. They had a new hairdo or haircut, notice it and appreciate it. Oh, for someone like me, this thing has actually caused some kind of argument between me and somebody's son. You understand? So we were having a conversation, all right, we're on a video call, and then he noticed that, I'm this kind of person that I'm more comfortable with wigs, like wigs that you get home and remove it. When you're going out the next day, you put it on. You have them different types and all that. So, the cornrows, the simply is a girl hair that we used to do underneath before we use wig to cover it. So I've had it on for like more than 1 week, like 2 weeks or thereabout. And then somebody's son now told me that, this your simply is a girl. You have not changed it to, you have been carrying this simply is a girl, although you have been using wig to cover it. But you've had this particular simply is a girl on for like 2 weeks now. I'm like, yeah, I'm planning to change it very soon. So after like few days, I removed it. I took it out and washed my hair. Then remade another one, a finer one, a tinier one, and all that. So that day we're making a call, we're on voice call. Me, I just wanted somebody's son to see that I had a new Simbi is a girl on. We're talking, my guy did not even notice that I had one new hair. I don't care if all of them look alike or they look the same, but you shall have to notice that I had a new hair on. Like, I don't understand. Next thing, after the whole conversation, we're about saying goodbye to each other, and then he still didn't notice that I had that new hair on. And then I'm like, I don't understand you. He said I did not notice that I made a new hair. And he said, oh yeah, I noticed it. In the middle of conversation, I was saying after social conversation, after this, I would tell you, I noticed it, but conversation covered it. I'm like, okay, so, when I noticed it, it actually brought out your face is now finer, brighter, and all that. I said to myself, oh yeah, my brother, you're not supposed to say it to yourself, you're supposed to say it to me. I don't understand. How can you not notice that I made a new hair? Like, hey, God, I don't understand. We like this compliment, everybody do. And then when he visits the salon for a haircut and they come there, I'm like, oh, that's a good one. Your hair is fine. Yes. So you notice your partner's little things. They put on new dresses that you've not seen on them before. Even though it's their old dress, but the fact that you've not seen them wearing this particular dress before, learn to compliment it. Brothers, learn to compliment it so that I'm saying this from experience, so learn to compliment it. All right. So some persons will say, oh, okay, so how am I going to be saying, am I going to be telling her I love you, I love you, I love you all the time? No, it's not about saying I love you all the time. You don't have to be saying I love you all. Yeah, in fact, you have to be saying it. You have to be saying it. Be saying I love you all the time. We like it. We want to hear it. We want to hear you say it. It is very, very important to us. Okay? So, apart from the word I love you, there are other things that you can actually say to your partners to make them feel good. Genuinely, not only when you want to collect money from your partner, you now go and start rubbing their head and start telling them things that does not exist. All right, sorry, I'm checking the time so that your video will not be too long. Our video will not be too long. All right, so it's not only when you want to collect money from your partner, you now start rubbing their head and telling them sweet things and all of that randomly. You call them on the phone, you tell them how important they are to you, even if they are developing their own self, like they are adding values to themselves. Appreciate them. So long as they are your partners, appreciate them. It is for the good of the both of you, the betterment of the both of you. Whatever he or she is doing positively, it's for the good of the both of you. So appreciate them. She decided to take a new course, she decided to learn a new skill, he decided to further his education, do something, develop himself, in fact improve on himself. Appreciate them. Say nice words to them, things like, oh, I love the effort you're putting in. Life is easier with you. I love it when you do, when they do something that you like a lot, hammer on that. I like it when you do. I like it when you do. You see them, they keep doing that thing. Do you understand? It's not for you to come and start telling your husbands or your fiancés, the guys, you start telling the guys that I love it when you wash the clothes. I love it, so that they'll keep washing. Hello, that's not what I'm saying. No. When they do little things for you, appreciate it. You are an inspiration to me. You are special to me. Life wouldn't have been this easy without you. Genuinely, I'm hammering on the word genuinely. All right, because these people are very sensitive. They will know when you're lying. For someone like me, I will know when you're lying to me. I will know exactly when you're lying to me. I love it when you do this. You're an inspiration to me. You're special to me. I'm lucky to have you in my life. You are the best thing that has ever happened to me. You are the best partner. You are, say it to them. They like it. They love it. All right. Now, in saying words of affirmation, there are some things you should know. You have to, number one, you have to be authentic about it. You have to be very authentic about it. Number two, you have to be sincere about it. Authentic, sincere. All of them, they are the same thing. Number three, don't be stingy with those words, assuming they know what you feel about them already. I don't know. It's only you that knows what you feel about me. I don't know until you tell me. And then you keep telling me, I don't know if you told me how you felt about me yesterday. Do I know if you feel something different today? Do I know if you feel differently about me today? Tell me. Tell me how you feel about me. Tell them how you feel about them. It helps a lot. All right. The importance of words of affirmation cannot be overemphasized, but I'll be stating some few importance, maybe like 2 or 3 importance of words of affirmation. Number one, it gives your partner a sense of self-worth. Right? It gives your partner a sense of self-worth. Number two, it motivates them. They want to do more for you. When you appreciate somebody for what the person has done for you, trust me, they will want to do more for you. It motivates them to want to do more for you. Number three, it builds intimacy between you and your partner. You know, when you are whispering those sweet words into their ears, genuinely, I always say genuinely, not faking it, not pretending about it, genuinely. It builds intimacy. It's, and then of course it builds confidence. That okay, someone feels this special way for you, someone loves you, someone sees you as a very special individual and all of that. It builds your confidence and all of that. Okay, so like I said earlier, I do not intend to make this video very long. All right, I'll be ending it here. I'll be ending this particular video here. All right, so if your primary love language is words of affirmation, or your partner's primary love language is words of affirmation, please endeavor to drop it down below in the comment section how you have managed to keep speaking that love language to your partners, or how you have managed to make your partner discover your love language. It is words of affirmation and all of that. You can even discuss it over time, like what's your love language. Let your partner know what your love languages are. Okay, and by the time you discover that your partner's love language is words of affirmation, please do not relent. Don't get tired of saying it to them. Don't get tired of speaking it to them. Don't get tired of making them know how you feel about them. Remind them every day. You could just be working in the office, both of you are in the office working, and then you decide to drop a message for them and all of that. Make them know how much you feel about them. It has happened to me a couple of times. Like, there are some days I'll be having but everybody does. There are some days I'll just be having a life moment. I'll be having some not too good day, and then from nowhere a message will just drop from somebody's son, and then I'm like, oh. Next thing I'll reply like, oh, this particular message means a lot to me because I was actually having a bad day, but this message has lifted my spirit and all that. So learn to speak these words to your partners. You never can tell when it will fall on a loamy soil. You never can tell when every time it's useful, it is necessary all the time, but you never can tell when it will be extraordinarily needed, extremely important to them. Okay, so learn to speak your partner's love language to them correctly and genuinely. All right, like I said, I'll be ending it here, and then on our next video we'll be talking about another different love language. Okay, so if you have watched this video up to this extent and you've not subscribed to this channel, please allow God to use you. Allow God to use you to subscribe to this channel. Don't watch this without subscribing, please. I beg you. Okay, so if you've learned a thing or two, drop it down below in the comment section. And if you think I've said something that is out of place, I'm open to correction. Drop your suggestions, your opinions, your contributions down in the comment section. Let's learn together and grow together. Okay. And stay winning. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you again. I love you again. I'm telling you words of affirmation now. You guys are so special to me. Honestly, you're special to me. You're important. You're priceless. I love you guys. Bye bye.